Hello and welcome to the next episode of Knowledge Cafe, a podcast where we bring you stories of inspiring life stories of people who have done remarkable achievements. And today we have great honor to have with us Brigadier Kuldip Singh Gulia, a decorated veteran of the Indian Army from Sikh Regiment. And my introduction to him happened through his remarkable achievement of having taken 1,25,000 steps on a single day to commemorate his Regiment Day. It's it's an accomplishment beyond imagination for most of us people, and it's really our fortune and honor to have you with us today. He's also a PhD scholar in human ecology of Sikkim. He's also written many books, and he's a advocate of Fit India. Could not be a fitter person to advocate about fitter India. Welcome to our episode, Brigadier Gulia. It is truly our honor to have you here, and it's uh, it's been I think we have been trying to have this conversation for quite some time, and today, fortunately, you are in Delhi, and we could meet. You tell us what brings you to Delhi.
See, I come to Delhi on the Army Chief's invitation.
Mhm.
After my having done 1,25,000 steps, 114 odd kilometers walk.
Mhm.
Now, the news went all over, and ultimately the Army headquarters got to know of it. And they found that I done it thrice, this walk over 1 lakh steps. So they said, let's call this man and whatever he has done. They also dug out the rest of the stories, including my doctorate and the other hobbies. So at the end of September, all the officers of the Indian Army were retiring. I'm expected to speak to all of them that the life actually begins post-retirement. Because before retirement, you are only being introduced to life. You live it after you retire. You are obeying the orders of whatever your organization asks you before you retire. Later on, you give it back to the nation.
Absolutely.
And
So आर्मी के लिए तो गिव बैक टू द नेशन तो शुरू से डे वन से ही हो जाता है. When you join as a young officer and a cadet, tell us that you joined way back in which year and how come the Sikh regiment?
right, see, I come from the army family. My granddad was in the cavalry, very good rider. My Tauji, Major Chandan Singh, was the first Indian riding instructor in the Indian Army in the year 1932, when Sam Manekshaw was also a cadet. Sam Manekshaw was a cadet under my Tauji.
Okay.
And he would always consider my Tauji as a star right till the last day. And we are communicating also with each other. Right. So my dad was earlier in the Punjab regiment. His regiment went off to Pakistan. And then he later joined the Jar regiment. My dad was a very good boxer, very good footballer, and a very good gymnast. So I took all the sporting activities and all this from the dad. Not only me, my younger brothers, two of them are mountaineers. The one younger to me, he is just retired as director Indian Mountaineering Foundation. And all his life he has done mountaineering. Immediately after his marriage, when he was to go for the honeymoon, he just climbed the nearest peak, said, and then he told his wife that we're going to tent here.
Mhm.
So that's the kind of
So it runs in the family.
It runs in the
Adventure and sports runs in the family. And army blood also.
Oh.
Army blood also, yeah.
So I was selected for commission in the year 1960. I was commissioned in 1970. We passed out 3 months early in the year 72 because of the 1971 war.
War. Okay.
Right? And we had to give our choices. And as I was reading about, 1971, before we were still in the academy, and we could read about all the regiments. कौन कहाँ पे क्या कर रहा है. Reading about the Char Regiment, the Sikh Regiment, the Rajputana Rifles. And then I just went through whatever chasing did in Punch at that point of time. Okay. One battalion being attacked by a divisional force, repulsing all the attacks continuously for 4 days, was they created history there and they saved Punch for India. Okay. They got the battle honors of Punch, of course. Yes. And then I read about forcing the Saragarhi Battalion, everything. So why shouldn't I join? Okay. So I joined JSIC. When I reported to JSIC on the first day in Punch itself, so I was walking up to my post and I asked the boys, कि मुझे कितनी देर पहुंच जाने होते हैं पार तक. So the boys tell me, साहब जी ऐसे पहुंच जाएंगे 3 घंटे. आज तुसी ना हो तो 7 घंटे तो लग ही जाने. Okay. They were just testing me. So I said, all right, is the route just this? Can I rasta jata? This is the new route. So I said, okay, I'll walk in front. One of them was carrying my pack, not knowing that I could carry it myself. I said, give me my pack, give me my weapon, give me everything and follow. They thought I will fall down in about half an hour. But after an hour, when I looked back, there was nobody in sight. Slowly they reached and I asked, would you be there and watch it? They said, Sachi, ऐसे लेते हैं 3-4 घंटे, तुसी नाड़ो आधे घंटे में. That was the first and the last test that they took of mine. Okay. I fell in love with the Sikh regiment. The Sikh regiment fell in love. And the life, it continues to. It's, I think it's just like your parents, you feel that regiment is your parental home as well. Yes, it's the ultimate. Exactly. It is the ultimate. So, from that young first posting to the very end, multiple experiences you have had, in various positions. You were also telling me that uh, that you moved on to disaster management after the Gujarat disaster management, and after you had done some work on disaster management, rather than some studies on disaster management. So from being in the infantry battalion and the regiment to something very different than what the typical armed forces do, how was it? Long journey. Pretty long. Every posting one learns. Now, initially I was a sports person, footballer, basketballer, playing for my battalion, and then in between some athletics events, pretty good in the commando activities. So my unit would put me into all the competitive aspects. Say there's a motor, platoon competition, firing. And I was generally used, for everything physical, nothing intellectual came. And after about 5-6 years, I was in between. I was playing football also, basketball. For 3 years, actually, I only played football for the Sikh Regiment Center. And the team was too good. After 5 years, in between, I got married also. Wherever we would go, my wife will accompany. My first daughter was also born. During my football team, those 3 years, my football team named her Lucky. They called her Lucky because any time that my wife went and saw the matches while she was carrying my daughter, we won them. Okay. So they called her Lucky during. Anyway, as we continued, they told me that I had to pass an examination called policy, and you want to study, they will be asking you these questions. Now, me, a person not studying at all, I said, I'm going to fail at it. Now, next 6 days, 6 nights, I continuously studied attack, defense, all operations of war. And when I went in for the test, they gave us a situation. And we were about 150 odd officers who got the situation. A few from my battalion also. We got the situation and I made my plan. I found that there are certain people who are copying whatever I am writing. I said, मैंने तो डूबना है तुम क्यों डूब रहे हो? You're writing okay. I said, okay, ठीक है. So when I was tested, verbally by the officer about my plan, he looked at me. He says, "What have you been doing?" I said, "Sir, I've been playing football." How much have you studied? Studied? So 6 days. They said you are intelligent, pretty intelligent, but you got to work. So I thought I'm going to fail. What happened? When the results were announced, out of 150, they passed only about 51. I was one of those. Now, after that, I came back to my battalion and everybody, somehow they made it a point कि हाँ ये तो पक्का fail होके आएगा. So they said, so you failed and come? I said, sir, I have passed and I have to staff officers. This was a good state. They all laughed at me. After educated. Got into the books. Next 10 years, I did not put my books down. Why 10 years? Till today, I have not put my books down.
Yes, yes.
I passed my staff college and thereafter got good postings and now you're disaster management. In between, I've done my post-graduation in environmental sciences and human ecology during study.
Yeah, you were telling me कि आप तो राजस्थान यूनिवर्सिटी के डिफेंस स्कूल में गए थे, डिफेंस स्कूल ऑफ डिफेंस स्टडी, और वो बंद था और एनवायरमेंटल स्टडीज का स्कूल
Yes,
खुला
ma'am. There were, I wanted to do, post-graduation and the security perceptions of Pakistan, a defense aspect. But that day, the South Asia Studies Center. In the same building, we had the School of Indira Gandhi Institute of Environmental Sciences, Human Ecology, and Population Studies. I met the director there. He just told me what environment is. Now, in the discussion, he says, what would you do now? I said, I'll do. And that's how.
What convinced you to drop defense study and take up environment? इसमें इतना इस ड्रास्टिक डिफरेंस बहुत जबरदस्त कोई मैचिंग पॉइंट नहीं है.
Then what happened?
It's this.
The aspects of defense studies was of national importance. Environment, as Dr. Bakure, my instructor, the director told me, was a global one.
Okay.
So, lots of difference between the two. Secondly, everything that the humans were doing. Now, until then, I thought there was so much of development. And then I got to know what sustainable development is and how we were literally destroying the world. We said, "Padh lijiye isko." So he gave me a direct admission into the first year environmental sciences, second year human ecology. A post-graduation course of 2 years. And very interesting thing here, madam. All the boys and girls who were doing the course with me, they were all postgraduates, somebody in botany, somebody in chemistry, somebody in physics. I was the only one who was MSc Different Studies. So the instructor was teaching us, the depletion of ozone layer. I was looking at the board. And on the board, I found he wrote good about 30, 40 equations. In the first equation top, it was the ozone meeting, the chlorofluorocarbons at the stratosphere. And by the time we reached the last equation, the ozone was depleted. So he looked at me and he just saw that I was looking lost. He said, Colonel Saab, I said, Colonel, कुछ समझ में आया? I said, he was T.I. Khan, my instructor. खान साहब सब समझ में आ गया. क्या समझे तुम? I said, आपने टॉप के ऊपर हमला किया था ऑक्सीजन के ऊपर और जितना ओजोन लेयर है उसके ऊपर फ्लोरोकार्बन के द्वारा और आपने ब्लैक बोर्ड के नीचे तक ऐसे की तैसे कर दी ओजोन. Now, he says, correct, Mr. T.I. Khan, Colonel साहब ऐसे तो आप फेल हो जाओगे. You're the only one who's done defense studies. ना तो आपको botany आती है, ना zoology आती है, ना आपको chemistry, ना physics. To fail. Now, I love challenges, and the challenge was fantastic. Now, the boys who were doing the course with me were relaxed. They won't study, but were pass us. So I requested all the girls botany, zoology, chemistry. Whatever lesson that we had, if it was a chemistry lesson, I'll go to the chemistry. Botany girl, she would teach me about plants and everything. Zoology girl, she will teach me about plants. When we had the exam at top university,
Top the university.
Yes.
Really?
Really?
What a remarkable achievement.
क्या हुआ कि I studied there, right? My wife said क्या कर रहे हो वैसे भी पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा, ठीक है? And we had a field work to do. My field work was on first year was 128 Ecological Battalion Task Force who were planting in the Rajasthan. When I worked with them, after that we had the interview, uh, the entire thing, we had an examiner from Viva. So for the Viva thing, when he was asking me various questions, he said, आपने इतना बड़ा कैसे पढ़ा? He said, "इससे करके He said, all right, but the ecological task force, how do you say that those people have got so many surviving? This. I said, I saw it on ground. And the reason is those people are working there, right? But the forest department, they don't want, they say that they are based on the resources. I said, those people are jealous of my boys. Because my boys are sincere, ecological task force. They were the retired people from the army who were re-employed to work upon this, and they belong to that area. And the survival rate of all their plantations was 80%, whereas the forest department was not more than 30%.
So, which is this, like you said, retired people from army are employed?
Yes, they are in the. These people are in ecological task forces battalions.
Okay.
Most of the states have these battalions.
Okay.
In Rajasthan, you got 1 to 8.
Okay.
In Himachal, you got ecological task force. In Uttarakhand, you got one of the Kumaon and one of the.
This is actually a very brilliant way of using the armed forces discipline, right? And use them as a battalion now to protect the environment.
127 Battalion of 127 is the based in Dehradun. Those were the people who worked upon the Mussoorie hill ranges.
Okay.
With their plantations. And what happened was that it was only after their plantations, 4 years after, once those plants grew up, that Mussoorie had a snowfall after a lapse of good about 10 years.
Okay.
When we talk of climate change, it was a climate change in the reverse order.
Reverse order. Yes, but for the good.
Yes.
Maybe it could bring back the snow, right? After 10 years. So I think that's how this book came about. I think that's how this book came about. Genesis of disasters,
Genesis of disaster, madam.
Yes.
Was on, I finished with my doctorate on ecology. I finished with on human ecology.
Okay, so let's first understand that human ecology. Need to know. I mean, ecology and human ecology. I haven't, used seen the term together, and would definitely want to understand from you.
Ecology is interaction
Yes.
between the living organisms and the environment they live.
Yes.
This is their form and their function.
Yes.
This also includes the interaction between the various living beings.
Okay.
Like, the grass is being eaten by various animals. Some animals, there's a food cycle, food change.
Yes.
The entire food chain is your normal ecology. Each organism dependent upon the other. Now, when you bring in the human ecology, this is the interaction of the humans between the various human races and also with the rest of the environment.
A disruptive force, I would say.
Uh, well, at the end of the day, we become a disruptive force, and that is the one which results in the disaster and has the disaster.
That leads to disasters.
To disaster.
To disasters. So ये आपने मुझे बताया था कि ये जो जेनेसिस ऑफ डिजास्टर है ये किताब आपने गुजरात के बाद लिखी, गुजरात के एक्सपीरियंस के बाद लिखी, एंड इट हैज ramifications and implications. थोड़ा सा इस बुक के बारे में बताइए कि how is this book kind of helping people who are now in disaster management roles?
Uh, I was, to start with, posted after I had finished with my doctorate in ecology of Sikkim. I was by now an expert. Army took me as an expert in environment. So I was posted as director, environment and ecology now. It's a cell in one of the branches. So I was there for good about 6 months, and after which I was somehow promoted from the rank of colonel to brigadier. Immediately, I mean, just around that time, we had an earthquake in Gujarat. This happened on 26th of January, year 2000, 2001. Now, when this earthquake happened, rehabilitation had to be done, the immediate relief had to be done. So the entire country was onto this. Me, as the director of environment, I just visited that area, returned back to my place, and whatever army help was to be done. But the army itself was affected there, so they were looking after their own losses and also helping the civil people in that area.
Yes.
Now, just 2-3 months after that, I was promoted to brigadier, and I requested that I be posted to Gujarat. There were other people working pretty well on this. And my posting to Gujarat almost coincided with the posting there of the chief minister, the present prime minister of India, Modi ji. He took over Gujarat almost together. And the moment I reached there was within a week, there was a conference of civil military liaison, and I, as the representative of the army, attended that. And he asked me how much I knew about it, and I told him that this is what I've done. So, under Modi ji, the civil government there, the army itself, the rehabilitation work went off at the finest. It was understanding the problem, getting on top of the problem, having the right force at the right place for the problem, also learning out of what has gone wrong in the previous years and what to do. He also called in the UNDAC, the United Nations.
Yes, you were telling me that a lot.
Yes, ma'am. So uh, we had a 7 days training program under those, and thereafter, I think within 6 months, the entire Gujarat was on its feet again.
That's a remarkable achievement for any disaster management. And imagining at that time we did not have a disaster management body as such.
The disaster management body was formed after the Gujarat.
After that, to birth after that. So let's circle back to now from your intellectual pursuits to your hobby of walking. You were telling me कि आपको पहले दौड़ने का शौक था, आपको दौड़ते अच्छे थे, बट दौड़ना नहीं हो पाया तो बोला कि बोरिंग लगता था वॉकिंग. तो फ्रॉम बोरिंग टू 1,25,000 स्टेप्स एक दिन में तो बहुत रिमार्केबल है। जिसको ये बोरिंग लगे वो तो नहीं कर पाएगा।
बोरिंग लगे वो तो नहीं कर पाएगा। I agree with you. पहले तो क्या हुआ कि as I told you, I was in football. In my unit, they said that one officer has got to participate in 20 kilometers walk competitive. Walking as a, what you say, competitive event, I did not know this. So my boys, there was one Baldev Singh, he was the Asian gold medalist in my battalion. He was one of the participants. He said, Sardi Dora Massacre. He said, you just keep following. So first day I walked with him, it was 2 kilometers, I had to be within no time. So slowly he taught me. First 2 months and then I participated. And I found that I was getting to know it and I was pretty good. So I did reasonably well, but I left it at that. Once I retired because I loved running. And when it got to running, I would do pretty well in all the speed marches in the competitions. We learn of the speed march. We carried 16 kgs of weight in our back and the knife. I was never second and loved it. With the battalion itself, whenever there was a task which required lots of physical efforts, my commander also would always expect me to enjoy it all along. Till retirement, I would just love running. They said, let's go for a walk. I said, no, I would rather go for a run. Then I found that my knees were not taking, the weight. There's a difference between walk and run. When you are running, you have both feet in the air at some point. And for fracture. And when your feet, whichever right or left, and it's touching the ground, it takes the weight of the entire body. While in walking, you have at least 1 foot on ground at all times. Therefore, the weight is distributed half and half. Okay. That's the major difference. And then I polished my way of walking, started walking faster. I just found that I'm not getting tired. So I did 10 kilometers, it was okay. Did 30, it was okay. Now in Jaipur, for my home, we have a range of the forts range. Nargad, Jagat, Amer. So Nargad is about 18 kilometers from my Jagat, 7 from there. Amer, another 4 kilometers. So I walked from my home to Nargad, to Jagat, and to Amer.
And still not tired.
Not tired. So I continued with that for about 2-3 years. Then I said, let me walk back from there. I walked back also. So it was 60 kilometers. Not tired. So then, now what happened? That in the year before last, 2023, it was 75 years of the 1948-47. And during that war, the Pakistanis stayed included into Jammu and Kashmir. Maharaja Hari Singh, the king at that time, he was still an independent king and he neither wanted to join India nor Pakistan. Lord Mountbatten, who was still heading India, and Pandit Nehru was the prime minister. So they asked Hari Singh that if you were to join India, we will save you from Pakistan. So that instrument of joining India was signed on 26th of October, and on 27th October, first Sikh of the Sikh Regiment, that battalion, they landed on the Srinagar. As they landed on the Srinagar airport, the Pakistanis were just about an hour away. Had they Even an hour late, Srinagar would be a part of. So these people, they saved Srinagar. Not only that, from there, they walked up to the other major points of Jammu and Kashmir. The rest of the forces also, there was a command battalion which followed them, and Kashmir was saved. But the initial thing was Urdu's first. So that day, Indian Army celebrates as infantry. Okay. Okay. Now, since it was first thing, so it was, I mean, it's the Sikh Regimental Day also. So I decided that it is 75 years of that, so I'll do 75 years. Okay. Everybody told me, "Yaar, ek din mein thodi plus 75." So people dissuaded me. I said, तुम dissuade करते रहो, मैं practice करके आता हूँ. So I went to practice 75 and I did 77. Practice में हो गया मैं. And I was still fresh. So I told now 75 तो हो चुका है. अभी मैं 1 lakh steps करूँगा. So 1 lakh steps का हो गया. I told my people also, and the entire formation was ready for 1 lakh steps. And मैं थोड़े दिन के बाद वो 1 lakh step का practice करने गया तो वो हो गए. So मैंने करना हुआ 200 kilometers. He said, how many times would you change it? I said, we change जितना बढ़ता जाएगा. You will change it. At the end of the day, man, I walked 104 kilometers. Yeah. 15 hours and a few minutes. 15 hours and a few. Yes, ma'am. That was in the first year. And my first over 100 kilometers. I had my wife's nephew with me. This boy was there. I have the boys from 17th Sikh Battalion. Okay. Located there. So the battalion helped me so much. They are able to understand the boys are very good. But उसमें क्या कर रखा था उन्होंने that the boys were walking 10 kilometers and then the boys would change. Okay. Because the challenge was mine, not theirs. उनके relay walk हो गया. उनका relay walk हो गया. And the challenge was for me, not for those boys. But the boys were very tough. उसमें कोई शक नहीं है. I mean, I won't say that won't be able to walk. They will walk much better than. So, 70 साल का अभी 77 years का होता हूँ. I think ये जो remarkable achievements है बस 70 साल के बुढ़े की नहीं है. क्योंकि I think I was joking with my team कि हम तो मतलब 110 भी नहीं match कर पाएंगे. And I think we at the age of 61 and the team at the age much younger than the after Philippines. Ma'am, you do 61 kilometers next. Yes, I have to say also things. Absolutely, मुझे बहुत inspiration मिला है. इस कुछ तो करना चाहिए. I mean, this is I think one of the one very strong reason for the senior citizens. Fitness as a mantra is very inspiring for them and for the family, and it's it's much less burden on anyone else around. You are maintaining yourself, your physical fitness. So just if I was to start, where would I begin training? Like मुझे training क्या करना होगा? रोज चलना होगा? कुछ भी करना. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा चलना होगा. And relax. Make a rhythm. Okay. आप संगीत सुनते हैं ना? तो उसमें rhythm. So make a rhythm. And you did not really put that music on. I never put on any music. I keep looking around. I look at the glacier and I keep walking. I keep smiling at people. I talk to people. I say hello, hi everywhere. Okay. The guys who walk me, join me in between, and then leave me up. But start loving your body and your feet. Okay. अच्छा एक चीज बहुत अच्छी है. Now they say that as you grow older, you go to your type. आपको ये नहीं खाना और ये नहीं खा सकते हो, ये नहीं पी सकते हो. मैडम मैं तो पहला 25, 30, 35 किलोमीटर किया. So I came back home and I told my wife, मुझे तो बहुत actually so much of ghee and I ate it. Now anytime I do those long walks, I will get that. तो मैं खाने के लिए walk करना शुरू.
Incentive.
Incentive.
That's a
So I keep taking my dude also every walk above 60 kilometers. Okay, 25-30 का तो फिर डेली का हो गया, मुझे रोज थोड़ी खा सकता. So
I was coming to that key. Which special diet do you have some special diet which keeps you energetic, with enough energy or strength like that?
I'm simple. One is that
आप कहते हैं कि gluten avoid कर रहे हैं.
I avoid sugar often, and I also avoid the sugar one. So we take shaker or good.
Okay.
But my morning and evening tea, I take 2 large mugs of tea. Typical Dodge.
Okay.
और शाम को morning 3:30, evening 2:30.
Morning 8:30. What time do you sleep?
I sleep at 9.
9.
I sleep very early.
But that's just 6.5 hours of sleep.
Hey man, afternoon I take about 20 to 30 minutes.
That's a power, man. That's
Power.
not sleep. That's not
तो
sleep.
उतना हो जाता है, मैं 7 hours सोता
7 hours. Really remarkable. I think salute करना चाहिए. Indian Army को तो हम वैसे ही बहुत respect करते हैं. I mean, ये जज्बा अगर सभी में आ जाए तो बस I think बस हमारा level पे क्या हो.
हूँ. And when you reach strength, age is walk में पहुंचे. So even if you are a walker, if you know, अगर आपके पैर में मोच आ गया, ठीक है, sprain, you won't be able to walk. If you find something wrong with the knees, you find walking difficult. If your spine, you have those problems, again walking will be difficult. Next to the stomach. Stomach is the strongest.
Okay.
Therefore, खाना हजम होना बहुत जरूरी है. आपको physically fit होना बहुत जरूरी है. So, got to therefore, you have the right equipment.
Okay.
And equipment में ये है कि proper shoes, proper socks, and then knees or इसके लिए you wear your shorts, whatever you do. Don't be afraid of moving out in pickup. I'm 75, but entire Jaipur sees me in shorts only. One day somebody saw me in shirt and pant, he said, आपके पास पैंट भी है? When he think that I don't have trousers also.
Okay. And fear.
तो वो है ना, अपने आप को फिर keep yourself self-motivated.
So आपकी जो अपनी regiment, they would have been very proud of you कि आप वो जो 1.25 लाख से लड़ा हुआ है, तो आपने 1.25 लाख को कहीं और खेल.
मैं वो 1.25 लाख का motivation first होता है. It continues to be. You know, Sikh regiment में क्या होता है? For that matter, any regiment, but I'm talking about the Sikhs. So you're fighting from a bunker if you are in the defenses. When I joined my boy in the bunker, तो that boy, he says, साहब साथ में खड़ा है तो मैं नहीं डर सकता. वो अपने आप को हुक्म देता है. और मैं साथ में खड़ा हूं तो मैं बोलूंगा अगर मैं डरा मैंने जवाब क्या सोचा. So we give strength to each other. Right? So everybody is dependent upon everybody else. Right? And therefore, that one person, सवा लाख से एक लड़ाऊं, that one person is represented. Okay. So if you got 900 boys there, but they are going to fight the rest of the world, but they will fight because they are represented. That's the thing. And there's another big thing, you know, in the Sikh regiment. सिखों में बोलते हैं वंडों के चक्को, बांट के खाओ. So वो वंडने में it's not only eating, it's एक दूसरे के दुख को वंडो, खुशी को वंडो. So you're collectively enjoying everything of everybody, you're collectively grieving at somebody's loss. That's the collective wisdom, that's the collective strength.
That's true. That's true. I think that's very well put. I think you have said it very well. And it leaves, I think, the जज्बा जो होता है, वो जज्बा बहुत कुछ करा सकता है आपसे, राइट? जज्बा. और अगर जज्बा collectively good के लिए हो जाए, तो then I think that can actually save mountains. उससे मुझे याद है कि that you have also walked Himalayas में. आपने बताया था मुझे कि हिमालयस में भी वॉक करा आपने, राजस्थान के भी फोर्ट्स वगैरह वॉक करे। Any particular, mountain or particular fort that left in, lasting impression?
And one of the walks that I loved most was, you been to Sikkim?
I haven't been,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Now the northern Sikkim has a plateau called Gyago.
Okay.
It has a Guru Dhamma.
Okay.
Uh,
Was that the lake which reached sometime, back?
no,
that
man,
was
not that. Now this Guru Dhamma lake, it has a history behind it. When Buddhism was traveling from India to Tibet, so the gentleman who took it, Padmasambhava, Guru Padmasambhava, he went through Sikkim.
Okay.
And he went via Guru Dhamma Lake, Uttarakhand, So from that place, Guru Dhamma Lake to Uttarakhand, on the plateau, that's also the international boundary.
Okay.
On the east is Bhutan, on the west is Nepal, and on the north is China.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Four countries.
Four countries. India, so Sikkim joined India in 1975. Before that, it was, we were just defending Sikkim all right, but it wasn't integrated with us. So that walk on that Gyago plateau, about 20-25 kilometers. It is so gradual, it is so beautiful, and you see the yaks grazing all around, beautiful scenery, and high altitude. I enjoyed that.
And which year was that?
That was, it was continuously 3 years, 1997 till 2000, before it took over.
No, and in the forts, like you say in Jaipur, and you were saying that this fort is this much distance, this much distance. But you explored rest of Rajasthan also by foot or by car.
See, I went mostly to Rajasthan twice.
Okay.
I studied in Rajasthan Rashtriya Military School. Therefore, all the hills all around Ajmer, we have climbed, my classmates would climb. Because, Taragat Hill, for that matter, the hills at Naga Parvat, on top of Pushkar and Madar Hill. Whenever we think of my school, it is the Madar.
Okay.
Like, the school is just at the base of it. So we would climb those. Then I was posted in Alpha as DQ way back in 85. So the Alwar Fort is there, and you got the Saraska area.
Yeah,
The Tiger Sanctuary, right? So I walked over around in that area. I commanded a battalion in Srinagar, 4-6 Saragarhi Battalion. So even in that area, and the entire western, because when I was commanding my brigade, our operational area was Barmir and Jessel. So the entire western area, and we were deployed there for 1 year.
But isn't that a very tough terrain? मतलब वो तो बहुत वहाँ पे वो रेत है सारा और
And you got the shifting.
sandstorms and I mean that's
You have the shifting and view zones. So very tough, especially during summers.
yes.
We found it very tough, but we lived on to it. And
Endurance. One question I forgot to ask when we were talking about human ecology. You have edited the encyclopedias. You were telling me about Himalayas past and present and encyclopedia.
right.
Uh, what is it that What is it that what insights did you gain for resilience amongst humans and wildlife while you were working on those encyclopedias? Any insights that stayed with you about human resilience or about mountains, how they cope with what we are doing to them?
There's something known as IEK.
IEK. Okay.
Indigenous ecological.
Okay. Yes.
And ethnobotany.
Okay.
Ethnobotany is the ethnics, how they integrate themselves with the environment.
Okay.
And slowly over generations, that develops into IEK.
Okay. Okay.
So therefore, those people, if they are making their houses, whatever crops that they are cultivating, all their eating habits, all their animals and the way they are looking after those, this becomes continuously a kind of culture that they have.
Okay.
Like the Sikhimis, they have their home gardens, and within their home gardens, there are things, the entire food they produce only from the garden all around their home, with something left to sell in the market.
Really?
They do that. Similarly, I found there in Gadwal and in the Kumau, they make their own kinds of home gardens within the homes. And then on the fields, they have those terraced fields. Right?
Correct.
So in the mountains, they make those terraces. And they make terraces in such a way by themselves that it would the ground holds onto it. All the trees, especially the birch trees.
Yes.
If you have large number of birch trees, you will find there are no landslides. Yes. If you grow fast moving trees there, fast growing trees there, then you will have large numbers. And if you make too many roads, and if you make them at the wrong places, then of course it's going to happen the way it happens. Yeah. So much of pressure of the
there have been many ecological, landslides have really been
therefore
cloudbursts and landslides and splash floods. This year has been the news for the wrong reason. It is maybe the interaction, as you told us, that ecology is what the interaction of is. So maybe somewhere we are going wrong in that sense.
Exactly. The human ecology, therefore, of those people, they have learned it through ages. We destroyed them within 10 to 15 years. What we need to do is we need to go with the people, understand the people, look at how they do, learn from them, live with them, and do it exactly the way they do it.
Yes.
And not overpopulate.
So there was a lot of traditional techniques, a lot of traditional wisdom in what they were doing, and somehow we tend to feel that the more educated people or coming from the knowledge coming from universities or specialized institutes, but I think the indigenous people, as you said, IEK, I think that's where we need to have the interaction more.
We need to have those people to teach us.
Yes, they must lead us, I think.
They must. And you remember there was Chipko Andolan about 30, 40 years back.
Bahugunaji.
Bahugunaji, Sundarlal Bahugunaji. We need more of Sundarlals and we need the country to understand Sundarlals.
Yes. So now, looking back, you know, uh, as a soldier, as a sports, freak, you said, footballer in baseball, and tracker and a scholar. So there are multiple roles, multiple, facets to your personality, to your life's journey. Which one, influence you the most, or which one do you think is still overpowering you in your shaping your day to day life?
You're asking easy questions. I got three daughters.
It's out of the syllabus.
Out of the syllabus, I have three daughters. Which one do I love most?
Okay.
Right. So I love them all most. I love them all 100%.
Yeah.
I love sports 100%. I love my mountaineering and trekking 100%. I love my wife 100%. Because the humans is such a
So it's a very holistic life experience. So I think that's a lesson to be done. To give your best to every aspect of your life. And then you would naturally love each aspect of your life. Now, some questions on the personal side. You were telling me all the three daughters have married into army. You have grandfather, father, you, and now all the daughters are also married to army. So it's literally a small unit of army which is in the house, right?
True. It's two of the
Is it too
daughters.
much of discipline? बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है।
Zero discipline.
अच्छा,
There's no requirement. You see, when you're talking, there's
armed
no,
forces equal to discipline हम लोगों को लगता
no, there's no right discipline. You just have a way of it.
है। Way of beautiful.
You just have a way of it. There's nothing tight कि आप ये नहीं खाओगे. When you see the Indian movies and you find a colonel साहब बड़ा बड़ा मुंज and they will say सावधान तेज चल हिलेगा नहीं. Nothing like that. You can do all kinds of fights. You can be funny. You can do whatever. Only you got to be decent. That's all.
Yes. I think decency and dignity are two things that our forces really hold high.
And my daughters say, because we don't know how we would adjust in a family which is not a military. Right? And sometimes, the youngsters with the officers in the army, they find, they are disciplined, civil. So just out of fun of these my daughters, which I don't want. I say civilians aren't bloody. When I retire, I'll again go to the civil society. They're as good as me, yes. Or ये तो ठीक है पापा, but we'll marry you for.
Once a fall, we always a fall. Yes, that's true. So, coming to the personal likes in this, like some book, you were telling me that you're very fond of reading and keep yourself occupied by reading novels. And ecology interests you, and then any news about it, and the lectures and the talks that you give. Uh, I remember you also mentioned regarding a book which you happened to look at today, very early days, Theory of Punishment, which kind of changed your perspective on a lot of things, right? Very early days. And you
Theory of punishment was.
आपको 15 रुपया में वो बुक
Ma'am,
बाजार
कहता
में
कि this was in the Daryaganj. I love the Daryaganj. On the footpath.
आप अभी भी वहां से खरीदने जाते हैं
मैम अभी वो मार्केट ही बंद कर दी, but they are places.
Yes.
उसके ऊपर I had to sit down literally, मेरे हाथ ऐसे खराब हो जाते थे and उंगलियां फट जाती थी, but I said the book. And this book would have cost a few thousand. I just found it. And, मेरे को 50 रुपए में मिल गया bargaining करने के. And on that book we had a seminar on theory of punishments, which also was something, a part of the human ecology. Somebody committing the offense and he being punished in civil or in the army. So if you give him a punishment, either it could be retribution or deterrence, or you could just have some kind of growth of that person. So we would, out of these theory, find the best. कौन से उसने offense के लिए कौन सा सजा होना चाहिए. Okay. Murder is the extreme, of course. But here किसी ने थोड़ा चोरी किया है, कुछ और किया है, चलते चलते says somebody has just made a road wrong use. So why don't you think of this? That you can, that people, they become all right slow through this. So we had a seminar on this.
Any book that you think has influenced you throughout your life?
There was a gentleman called Elvin Toffler.
Yes.
उन्होंने लेके फ्यूचर शॉक का एक book लिखा.
Yes. My generation, till my generation knew. I think the next generations don't know about that book.
Now, he wrote a series of 3 books. The first one was future shock. उसके बाद उन्होंने वो 3 states का ऐसे कर दिया. Third wave. The first wave was the original humans. The second wave was the agriculturist. The third one, after industry, are the today's, what you call as the computer world, artificial intelligence. Over a period of time, things have become automated. Now the shock is that too much has happened, too much has happened too soon in the lives of the humans, and we have not been able to grasp it.
We're not able capacity to absorb.
To absorb has not been there.
The speed of change is very
exactly. And because of this, the world continues to be in the shock of all the three.
I imagine if he was to write that book today in today's world, I mean, if he thought that that was very fast changing world 50 years back, what it would be now, I think.
And he can forecast what is happening today in that future shock. And then the third wave, and the third move was the power shift. So the power initially was physical, then it became, kind of educating people. Today it's all intellect. All the brains. So how the power shift has taken place.
I still remember the orange cover of that book. I think it was orange color. Right?
You said it.
I
have the travelers.
I don't remember the other, but that book I still. Okay, so this has really
It's affected.
Okay, so since we are an NGO focused on healthy and productive aging for seniors, what message you would like to give them about fitness, about life, about how to how do you maintain positivity, what motivates you, any sharing of that?
True. See, as I said, when you say that so and so is retired, you haven't retired. You retired from a job, a portion of your life where you gave to the particular organization. After that, you live your own life for your own fun, your own health, and also give to the people how much they can love life, how much they can. And therefore, it is our duty to be able to do that. It's our duty to continue to be in touch with everything in four ways: spiritually, intellectually, materially, and physically. Right? So if you are in touch with all these four things, you will stay spiritually, अपना थोड़ा भगवान का materially, we are well, wear it correctly. You aren't outdated. You're a modern person who's got so many years of experience of life. So wear it proper and hold your head high, stand straight, and look into the damn eyes of the people. So that's, and then again, physical, intellectual.
मुझे लगता है कि आपको एक एकेडमी खोलनी चाहिए और क्रिएट ए वॉकिंग ग्रुप ऑफ सीनियर सिटीजन और वो नए नए रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक करते हैं so आप जैसे रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक कर रहे हैं you I think I'm sure inspiration is there for many people to break those records but I think you could even start a movement of walking seniors across
In Jaipur, sometimes the boys and girls they come with.
Yes.
In fact, every day when I'm walking in those parks, they'll join me. They join me in speed and they'll also join me for the distances also. And this is my major problem, any day that I want to relax so, and I walk a bit slow, so as a bimar, so nobody permits me to walk slow.
Slow down.
To slow down. So the guys are now teaching me that you aren't permitted to slow down. And if you are slow, what will we do? So, itna log to at least in my part of Jaipur, they know me for they know the crazy walker is coming. Many people, when they see me, they start walking street also. इतना प्यार बहुत मिलता है. I get so much of love.
Yeah, I think maybe कोई term भी coin करते हैं Walkman of India or something the brigadier who walks or something like that.
They call me the crazy walker.
The crazy walker. I think crazy तो नहीं लगना चाहिए inspiring होना.
Well, ठीक है, पर crazy ठीक है. They call it crazy because they don't want anyone else doing
it. Because it's a tough thing to do, and then it's easy to say it crazy, but it's difficult to follow also. But I think it has been a very enriching, discussion. We have, a lot of takeaways, and I think for me the takeaway is to walk straight and practice walking. And I hope in another episode we had met, this IDS officer who on his retirement day ran for 60 kilometers overnight after the retirement party. So, and I think these two episodes have actually made me very resolved that I should be quick for the scene थे जो बहुत late in life started at so I think maybe I'll start a little late in life but I would walk sometime long distance and get you back.
I will not be there for your 114th birthday.
नहीं यूसुफ बहुत पहले करेंगे बहुत पहले करेंगे चलिए thank you very much it's been very nice talking to you having this conversation was lovely thank you to our participants and other viewers also if you like the episode please do enjoy it please do share it and subscribe to our channel